As the nation faces another week of quarantines and lockdowns, the number of coronavirus cases and fatalities is still surging. New hotspots are emerging across the nation, while some places see their curve start to flatten just a bit. But no one's in the clear yet. America has just surpassed the rest of the world in COVID-19 related deaths. I'm Liam Crowley, and this is the CitrusTV News Weekly Coronavirus Update. Around the world, the number of cases are rising. Russia just reported its largest daily increase in cases, and Britain just passed 10,000 deaths. And in America, there's over 26,000 deaths and about 530,000 cases. The majority of that number is still in New York. With more than 180,000 cases, New York is still scrambling to find enough personal protective equipment for healthcare workers and enough ventilators and masks for hospitalized patients. New York is experiencing a fall in the rate of new hospitalizations. Governor Cuomo says the state is entering its peak of COVID-19 cases with nearly 20,000 patients hospitalized.
Everyone is a face and a name and a family that is suffering.
The number of cases falls well below projections for the state that showed as many as 120,000 hospitalizations could have been necessary entering mid-April.
Change in total number of hospitalizations is down again. This is the number that we have been watching because the great fear for us was always overwhelming the hospital system.
Now, despite the drop in new cases, Mayor Bill de Blasio is canceling classes until June for all New York City students.
Having to tell you that we cannot bring our schools back for the remainder of this school year is painful. But I can also tell you it's the right thing to do. It clearly will help us save lives because it will help us to guarantee that the strategies that have been working, the shelter in place, the social distancing, all the focused strategies that are finally beginning to bear fruit, they need the time to continue to be effective.
All standardized testing, including Regents exams, have also been canceled for students. Those who are passing their classes prior to the exam will receive full credit. Now, even though de Blasio said he's closing schools until the summer, that decision is actually up to Governor Cuomo, and he hasn't made a call on that just yet. Now, not too far in Pennsylvania, there's nearly 23,000 cases and 507 deaths. Healthcare workers and those in assisted living facilities are taking the brunt of damage. Pennsylvania Governor Tom Wolf says that the state might enter its worst week on Monday and see another surge in cases.
More than 2,000 people are hospitalized in Pennsylvania with COVID-19. We expect that number will continue to increase in the coming days. For the past few weeks, medical facilities have been shifting resources internally. They want, as well we all do, to ensure that their facilities are ready to save lives while also protecting their staff. Some of these efforts are in preparation for a surge in COVID-19 patients.
All of Pennsylvania are under a stay-at-home order until the end of April. Schools are still closed until further notice, and the state's health department is advising everyone to wear a mask when they go outside. And people in Michigan are no longer allowed to travel between residences. This comes just after the governor extended that state's stay-at-home order to May 1st.
Now, the green line is what can happen if everyone does their part. If we act now and we continue to stay at home under really aggressive scenario, you can see that the line will start to flatten.
The first case in Michigan was reported on March 10th and the first death on March 19th. Since then, the numbers keep on rising. There's nearly 24,000 cases and over 1,000 deaths across the state. The pandemic is hitting Detroit especially hard. The virus is disproportionately hurting African Americans in Michigan. They account for 40% of the state's deaths. In Detroit, almost 60% of COVID-19 cases are African American. Further out west, California has recently passed 20,000 cases in the state. The testing within California still remains limited, but health officials are saying that the peak of cases may not be as high as initially expected. However, cities across California are still taking harsher measures. In Los Angeles, Mayor Eric Garcetti announced a new wave of regulations.
You probably heard the news today, and this is big news, that we are extending the Safer at Home order until May 15th. And additionally, now, the county and city will require non-medical essential businesses that are open to the public to complete a social distancing protocol. And we are launching the Los Angeles Emergency Child Care Connection, an initiative to support our hospital workers and their families to ensure that no essential worker misses a shift because he or she doesn't have childcare during this crisis.
And non-essential businesses that remain open until the order is lifted will be prosecuted. Some counties around Los Angeles have also taken harsher measures, such as Riverside County, where not wearing a face mask can bring a fine of up to $1,000, and Malibu, where arrests are being made for not abiding by the statewide stay-at-home order. And further up north in California, in San Francisco, residents are to always wear face masks while out in public. The Center for Disease Control and the World Health Organization both now recommend wearing masks outside, but some states have been slow to enforce it. San Fran only has just under 1,000 cases and few deaths, but Mayor London Breed's early actions might have helped in stopping the spread in the Bay Area city. She declared a state of emergency in February, 2 weeks before the first reported case, and was one of the cities to issue a serious shelter-in-place order.
Because so many of you are staying at home, our hospitals are not as overwhelmed as they could be, giving us the flexibility to handle an outbreak of this nature.
That's all the time we have today for this week's coronavirus update. Citrus TV will continue to bring you the latest news on the global pandemic and how it's impacting our campus community across the world. Make sure to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Citrus TV News, and check us out on our website at citrustv.com. I'm Liam Crowley. Stay safe, Syracuse.